Good evening and welcome to the V8's online coverage of the Simstruments Fixed C Truck Series, brought to you by Simstruments and the V8's online superstore coming soon. I'm Mike Korolev and I'm your host for this evening, and joining me in the commentary booth is Anthony Kernich. Anthony, good evening.
Good evening.
So, race 2 of the series. We're off to Phoenix International Raceway. Quite an interesting little circuit out in the Arizona desert. Flat, short, and quite a different shape.
Yeah, this is one track that really suits this car. It's not a lot of banking, and both turns are very different from each other, and there's no draft, so it's going to really show who can drive and who can't.
Certainly will. Interesting track, and I know you're talking about the different corners there. Talk us through turn 1 and how turn 1, as it dips in and drops away from you as you enter it, will affect drivers this evening.
The turn 1 is, as you said, it goes down into the corner, and it's very difficult to hit your marks properly. There's many different ways of attacking it, and also the wall comes out at you on the exit of the corner, and without that banking, it's very difficult to hold the car and not slide up into the wall if you're not very, very careful.
For sure. So we exit turn 2 and then we're going to head through what is, I believe, the only circuit with an actual kink on the back straight, or a mini tri-oval as it were. Going through there, side by side racing, all works out okay?
Yeah, until someone hits the curb that's sitting on the apex of the corner. It's a very, very hairy part of the track, even by yourself. So it's going to be quite a challenge tonight for these guys.
And then entering turn 3 and through to turn 4. Doesn't seem to drop away as much as turn 1 and 2. Still bumpy, still low banking, and still low grip, but the inside curb actually rises up. That's got to be a trap for drivers tonight.
Yeah, turn 3 actually is where most of the trouble takes place on this track. Some reason it just tightens up on you, and people slide up the track and collide with others, and also the exit, the wall is waiting for anyone to make a mistake.
Certainly one of those tracks that's going to provide some action tonight. Should be an interesting race. So, we're race 2 of the season. We ran at Texas Motor Speedway last week. How did you see that race from a post-race preview?
Yeah, it was pretty intense, as usually those types of tracks are, and pretty hard fought to the end. Pity it ended the way it did, but that's just racing, I guess.
Okay, so let's have a look at the points from as they stand at the moment. We have Francis Dunnett. He won last week, and some would say probably a fortuitous move just before the yellow came out and ended the race, but nevertheless, he leads the points on 192. He overtook Harrison Walditz, sitting on 181 points, just 11 points behind him. Alexander Abraham, great job. Timothy Jackson is sitting 4th, along with his teammate Nathan Britton for Powerbond Racing. Jason Martin, unusual to see him finish 6th in a race, but he did have some difficulties brushing the wall and so forth. Robert Cook sits in 7th, Tony Autridge 8th, Alistair Topley 9th, and Rob Hartley, interesting, in 10th place, and he was the winner of Split 2. So how do you see those points shaping out tonight with some of the guys running here at Phoenix?
Yeah, we should see the regulars up towards the front as always. Obviously, if there's some incidents that take place, it could shape things up.
Yeah, for sure. Good to see a few of the regulars coming back this evening, and our resident V8 supercar #1 driver, Josh Muggleton, I think he's going to give it a run again tonight.
Yeah, this track's going to be quite a difficult challenge for him. Obviously accustomed to his V8 supercar. It's coming to Phoenix. It's going to be a whole different kettle of fish, that's for sure.
Absolutely. So, as we have a look at the early practice, let's see, what have we got? 16 entries into tonight's race. Interesting to see David Bernard turning up, a real-life V8 supercar driver. David always runs pretty well, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's pretty quick. Can be incident prone, but I guess that's being a real driver. He's not accustomed to the simulated environment, but yeah, he should have a good run if he keeps it clean.
For sure. Great circuit, tight, challenging. Our early morning, our early pre-session or before the race starts, Jason Martin setting a 27.899 in warm-up. That's something we'd expect, and certainly Francis done it there, right behind him on a 27.990, and Josh Muggleton not too far behind. Oops, he just dropped down the order there a little bit, but certainly doing a good job, I think.
Yeah, Muggleton's obviously coming to a track he's probably never tried before. It's good to see him sort of up towards the front relatively quickly. I mean, it's hard to say how much practice he's done, but it's still good to see him up there.
Yeah, for sure. I think it's one of those things too that, you know, quality drivers will always rise to the top, and I think Josh is one of those guys that whatever he turns his hand to, he's always going to be pretty quick. So we've also got guys like Luke Betts in the field. Luke's a fantastic driver and been around since the GPL days. He certainly is a very competent oval racer. Been doing a fair bit of it lately. I think he'll be one to watch for the evening's race. That's for sure.
Especially if this race tends to stay green, the lap times do fall off, and being very difficult track to get right. The ones who can be neat and tidy and consistent will come towards the front.
Totally agreed. Although it is one of those tracks too, isn't it, where just a stroke of luck is needed sometimes to win, to make it through those incidents.
Yeah, obviously any trouble on the front stretch tends to be almost impossible to avoid. There's walls either side and it's not that wide, and also coming out of turn 2 there's a jump on the inside, so if you're trying to avoid a wreck in the grass you can go into the air, so it's very difficult to avoid wrecks here, but if you can pick up some spots.
For sure. How do you think tyre wear will play into the hands of the drivers tonight?
Yeah, I think it's going to be quite a major thing. Obviously we've done a lot of banking and quite a bit of turning at this track. The right front tyre in particular is going to take a pounding, so if we run 10 or so laps, everyone's going to pit, and 4 tyres is going to be the only way to run tonight. 2 tyres is going to be a suicide.
Agreed. All right, let's have a look at our driver lineup for the evening. We have on the front row Jason Martin, Nathan Dunnett sitting right next to him. That should be an interesting matchup. Both quick, consistent drivers. Francis sometimes a little fragile. Jason can certainly drive and be consistent. He'll be there all night. Row 2, we see Corey Vincent, Christopher Perryman. Row 3, Josh Muggleton, well done, and Tim Jackson. Row 4, Simon Walker and Alistair Topley. Nathan Britton, Luke Betts are sitting on row 5 with Jason Hardman, Michael Schreier, Reese Goldfinch, Marlon McMullen, John Thrapp Sr. Interesting. And David Bernard rounding out the 16 cars on the grid.
So I believe Tim Jackson hasn't gridded at this stage, so he's obviously missed the start, so he's going to have to start from the pits. It's going to be a handicap for him if we don't get a yellow quickly.
Tactical move, do you think, to try and avoid an early incident?
No, I believe he's actually not even in the server, so I don't know what's happened with him, but I'm fortunate because track position is quite important here, and you don't want to be at a handicap by starting from pit road.
That's for sure. Alright, so we're on our pacing lap now. Jason Martin brings them around.
And this track actually has changed in real life. They've reconfigured some of the corners and taken out the dogleg part of it. So iRacing obviously hasn't given us that yet, but we should be getting it very soon. So we are racing an older version of the track, but still fun nonetheless.
For sure. A little bit bumpy here too, isn't it?
Yeah, it can be, but it's not as bad as Kentucky, for example. There are some bumps, but it's not terribly bad.
Pace car pulls in. Jason Martin leads them away
Jason
and they
Martin's
go.
jump.
Fantastic.
Turn
Nice
one's
start.
very trouble here. We're braking in different spots, so you got to be careful. As you got to be aware of everyone around you.
Looks like we've got them all through turn 1, exiting turn 2, nice and clean.
You usually get quite a bit of trouble there on starts and restarts. So they've done well so far. So Jason Martin's got a little bit of trouble in turn 3 there. He's lost the ground that he did create at the start. Oh, and he has tagged the wall slightly, so...
Ooh. Yep. Any damage, you think? I think it's just a brush.
Yeah, damage, aero damage around here isn't too important. It's not terribly fast, so you can go around with a little bit of damage. But if you do knock your toe out, you are done, obviously. But body damage is fine.
Sure. Nathan Dunnett Francis Dunnett sitting very close. Very close in second place.
Yes, we've got Marlins obviously trying to have a go at Schreier in turn 4 and didn't quite make it stick. They almost actually came to blows there. So look again. This track can be hard to pass on if someone wants to keep you behind them, but as the laps go on, you can make passes quite easily actually. A lot easier than last week, for example.
Okay, we're right on board with Francis Dunnett now. Sitting in just behind Jason.
When you're behind someone, it's quite difficult to spot your marks here. So you got to be on your toes, especially down in turn 1. Obviously, you did get a little bit loose off turn 2 there. It can be a problem behind other cars.
Certainly citing that entry, just knowing where to brake, hold it in. Jason just running through.
Just running a bit wide off turn 4. He's going to struggle to keep it in there.
It's a good job. Nice job holding it in.
Turn 4 just comes out at you here. You're in the throttle. No.
Nathan Britton moves under his teammate.
So the high side of turn 2, here does tend to stay with the guy on the bottom. It's one of those tracks where you can race side by side. It is hairy, but it can be done. As it's still side by side through turn 3, Britain's probably going to prevail eventually.
Yep. And you
So
expect him to be able to take the position without too much trouble running with his teammate as well. Although Tim is certainly not letting him just run away with it, is he? Job done.
Cleared him.
And
so we got Topley's trying to have a go at Chris Perryman here of turn 4.
He is. Perryman fights back. He might get the run off 4 too, just quietly, and keep the position.
So
and he has.
Oh yeah, he did get a little bit loose in turn 1, so he's going to clear him quite comfortably. It's, and Muggleton manages to get through as well. Perryman's struggling. And Jason Martin's up
He's
turn
up
3
wide.
and 4, very, very, very high. He's probably going to lose a couple of spots here if he's not careful when he tags the wall. So he's gone from first to third very quickly. As Francis tags the wall, so it's all happening.
Wow.
Oh, and he's in trouble there. He's struggling to hold that up. Good job of not looping that thing, as Corey Vincent's going to try and get in there.
David Menard not doing too bad from 16th, moved himself up to 11th position now.
He's got a couple of guys in front of him struggling. They're quite loose in front of him, so he's got to be on his toes, preparing to avoid any incidents if they do take place.
You'd certainly expected a real life driver with a pretty good over racing background actually to to move his way through the field, but I think it'll get a little bit harder as he comes up into the mid-pack to get through. That's probably going to wear his tyres. Might make it a bit difficult for him to progress without a yellow.
Because we've fallen off over 1 second already, so tyres are definitely wearing quickly. So it's
Right, let's take a look at the battle in front again. Jason Martin sitting in third place. He follows Corey Vincent with Francis Dunnett out front. Francis likes to lead these races, doesn't he?
yeah, obviously with them being quite short, it's you don't really be biding your time as such. With cautions frequent, not many laps, it's hard to make positions if you get buried in the field.
I guess it's the old case, if you're up front, the trouble's always going to be behind
Corey
you, isn't
Vincent's made a tiny little bit of contact there. It's hurt both of them. So you might have a look at turn 1.
it? He's down the inside. Puts it in.
Yes.
Can he hold it? Nice to see Francis give him a little bit of room too.
As you can see there, the high side there did eventually prevail. So 2x2 is one of these tracks where you wouldn't expect it to be able to happen, but it does.
I'll tell you what else it's done as well, Anthony. Those two battling up there, Jason Martin's sitting on the tail of them, but it slowed him up just a little bit and let Alistair Topley close in a little. Because he has another go.
Yeah, obviously with them racing, they're not hitting their marks. They're making a lot of mistakes as Martin tags the wall.
And Vincent goes under him.
Still side by side. And obviously that dotted line in turn 3 and 4 there is below that is flat, so you don't want to be getting down there.
He's got the drive, does the job. Fantastic. And look who we've got sitting in 5th place, Josh Muggleton.
Still not over and out yet, but obviously 4 cars now fighting for the lead.
Topley's right on the tail of Martin now. This could get very interesting.
Yeah, these tyres are falling away quickly, so these guys are going to be slipping and sliding. It's hard enough trying to race people. But Francis is very loose in the middle of the turns there. See, these fixed setups don't give you an opportunity to adjust your brake bars. So obviously, people have different styles, so the brake bars might not be suiting someone or might suit another.
And do you think fuel burn will come into this in regards to loosening up the set, or what's it going to do as the run goes on?
The fuel consumption's not terribly high here, so it probably won't make too much of a difference. The tyre effect is obviously much greater. So the times are falling away. We're now lapping almost 29.0, so we're a second slower than qualifying.
I think Britain got loose off too as well. One of the Powerbond cars in the background I saw there having a bit of a slide. Might not have been Britain. Could have been... no, it can't be his teammate. So one of the Powerbond cars definitely got wide, lost some spots.
Going to allow Bernard to have a go, and Walker's way up high.
Dunnett being challenged. Sorry to talk over you. Dunnett being challenged by Martin, and Martin gets through in the kink. He's got the drive into turn 3, takes the spot. And Muggleton on the outside of Topley. Wow, this is all happening.
So we see a replay. Yeah, it's just Francis has got in the throttle too early and probably lifted to stop himself killing the wall, and see that's cost him a spot. And Muggleton's having a look for 4th place. He's doing very well.
He is actually.
Such a difficult track in an unfamiliar environment for him. He's obviously doing quite well at this stage. And we're over halfway through the race, so the laps are going by relatively quickly.
They are ticking off fast, aren't they? He's still got the nose in there, but Topley's fought back into 1, held him. He's got the drive out of 2 and through the backstretch. Let's see what Muggleton can do going up into 3. He puts the nose in again.
You've got to be very, very careful racing side by side that you don't get on the brakes too late and slide up into the guy and take him out. It's quite difficult to pass if a guy in front of you wants to keep people behind him, especially if you start racing some of the higher higher strength of fields and higher series, and people don't want to give up spots.
For sure. The thing I've got a note here too, Anthony, is we're 20 laps into the race, 15 starters, all are still on track. There's only an 8-second gap between them all. No incidents, no yellow car, no yellow flags, and everyone's still running quite well.
You know, there's always yellows lurking at this place, though. It's, you can have a long run all of a sudden, and the yellow comes out, and it just becomes a mess. As we got 3 wide down in turn 1, almost. Oof. With Simon Walker and Shreya is allowing Marlon to get in there and see what he can do.
Well, indeed. Let's see what he can do.
Still side by side with
mix.
Walker and Shreya. So the lead fight's starting to dissipate a bit with these guys just falling away at times. Martin is actually closing on Vincent, so it's going to get hairy towards the end for those two.
Absolutely. This race back in the pack, though, between Shreya, Walker, McMullen and Hardman is certainly holding up. I think Shreya is sort of a bit of a cork in the bottle here, and the other 3 are looking to get past, but looking to do so safely. Spinard has a little wiggle off a 4.
Yeah, we've got Marlins alongside Hardman at the moment. And so we've got Jason Martin closing very rapidly for the lead. He's doing very, very good lap times at the moment. So he's obviously saved his tyres, saved himself for this last part of the race. One of the good things about these flat tracks is you can come and go during the race, with lap times falling away quickly and
Jason's
mistakes
certainly
punished.
Jason's certainly an expert at doing that too. He's been very experienced. He's closing in on him nicely. He's pulled out a nice gap on Francis Dunn at 1.75 seconds, with Alistair Topley sitting back another about 1.5 seconds. And Michael's sitting right on his tail still. He hasn't fallen off there.
This is one track where the variability in lap times is just enormous. We've got some guys lapping half a second slower than the leaders, so it shows just how difficult this track really is. It's one of the hardest tracks on the service to get right and be consistently good at. As Jason Hardman's looking inside Simon Walker through the kink in the backstretch. He's sideways. Both of them are sideways, so obviously very, very hairy moments for them.
Oh, looks like he's got a run. Oh, he's brushed the wall there too. That'll take a bit of speed out of him, and yeah, that's not gonna do his aero much good if he keeps doing that.
Jason Hardman's getting loose again. Simon Walker's going to get a very good run to the outside of him. He's driving in very, very, very deep. He's going to... Oh, what? If he can hold this, it's going to be very, very impressive. And he has. Well done. You don't often see that at this track.
No, for sure. That's a big pass to pull off, really, isn't it?
He's
Because
still
you're up high
struggling,
there. Do you think he's overheated his tyres?
Yeah, he's sideways into the corners. He's obviously heating up particularly his right rear tyre. So not allowing him to... Oh, and they're all sideways. Yeah, the setup's very, very difficult. Oh, and he tags the wall
again,
quite hard there.
That'll give Hardman the run down into one.
That might hamper him, actually.
Cautious entry for Hardman, but if he stays under there... I see Marlon's got damage too on the rear wing. How's that?
He obviously made some contact. Oh, it's not going to hurt him at all. It's aero and draft don't really mean anything. It's always 3 wide in turn 3.
Oh, I don't think he'll field as well.
And below the dotted line, it's still 3 wide.
Oh, great racing. Great racing.
Track. Oh! So, Simon Walker is absolutely on edge at the moment. He's fighting for control. Now, this brake bias is definitely not suiting him. To still, and they're all over the place at the moment. Really fighting for dear life. Because at the front, Corey Vincent's pulled away from Martin. So he's obviously got this one in the bag unless there's major carnage. Caution coming out now will make it a one-lap sprint, which we don't want to see.
Well, I've got to say, it's been certainly an exciting race so far, and we've already knocked off 30 laps, only 5 to go.
Yeah, we've only been going 14 minutes.
He's having a look. Oh, there's a touch.
So Marlon's pushing him. Oh, and Hardman's going to fight.
Hardman slides. Marlon can't really capitalise on it. Let's see who gets the drive out of the corner. Hardman keeps it.
He's going to allow Tharp to have a go.
And he gets the job done. Underneath him, coming out of 4.
So if we go back to the battle for third, Francis is still under considerable pressure. He's not going to have many laps to hold him off, but still difficult nonetheless.
I'll tell you what, watch Topley coming through there, and he's running that front left wheel right on the line. You see him give a little wiggle out of 4. That's got to be flirting with danger, especially with Muggleton sitting there.
And Muggleton's just probably going to wait for an incident. Still doing pretty good lap times actually, but obviously with not many laps left, people aren't going to be conceding positions very easily. And we've only got 2 laps left, so
yep.
Not very long to do anything.
Corey Vincent crosses the line ahead of Jason Martin, with Francis done it. See an Alistair Topley just right on his hammer, and Josh Martin having a look.
So we've only been going just under 16 minutes, so this race has been going by very, very quickly. It's just track short lap times and not many laps, so the races are over and out quite quickly.
I don't think Nathan Britton there is closing in on it, but I don't think he's going to have enough time with really only 1 lap to go. I don't think he'll make an impact, but certainly he's there.
Yeah, he'll need an incident to pick up a spot or 2. So, was Topley's going to try something?
Looking.
To the last turn of the race, so he's going to throw it in for sure.
Down the inside? No, can't do it. There you go, Corey Vincent wins from Jason Martin. Francis Dunnett does a great job to hold off Alistair Topley, with Josh Muggleton coming through and Nathan Britton close behind. Luke Betts finished P7, Christopher Perryman is 8.
Got Marlon's had some trouble coming to the flag. He's smoking quite badly. Something's obviously happened.
Always giving that a big hit.
Obviously, there was some trouble in front of him. Something's happened with... Oh, what's this? Jason Hardman's had a major incident at the back of the field. There's only a couple of laps left. He's been turned by John Tharp.
What's happened there? Oh, he's touched the nose. Tharp's had a big whittle, and Marlon's just driven into the back of him. He's had nowhere to go. Tharp's pushed it up against the wall. Well, that's got to be a bit disappointing for Marlon, really.
Yeah, it's didn't bring a yellow out, so yeah, it's quite odd. Very, very strange incident right at the end of that race.
Yeah, I think Tharp's just been having a bit of a go and got into Hardman. Could be a little bit of netcode involved there too. And poor old Marlon's come out worst of all on top. That's a bit of a shame. Alright, so let's have a look at our race results. Corey Vincent brings it home nicely after 35 laps out of Jason Martin, doing a fantastic job as usual. Francis Dunnett. Interesting finish for Francis. Couldn't quite keep with those lead 2, but still did a great job holding off Alistair Topley from Josh Muggleton, Nathan Britton, Luke Betts, Christopher Perryman, Mike Schreier, with David Menard rounding out the top 10. Well, what did you think of that one?
Yeah, it was quite frenetic. I'm surprised it stayed green the whole way, considering how loose some of those cars in the middle of that field were getting. But obviously, quite intense, especially for the lead in that mid stage. This track always produces drama. So
That was
once
a lot of
again,
fun to
it's-
watch too from the commentary position. It was fantastic, really, wasn't it?
Yeah, it would have been quite hairy from the cockpit, certainly for some of those top guys. But yeah, it's still nice to watch from the spectators.
Well, it's certainly going to help Jason Martin in the points catch Francis Dunn a little bit, finishing ahead of him. Bugger will get some points. So Topley, Nathan Britton, he's sitting fifth in the points too. He'll do well out of that. So we'll certainly see them move up the points table. And what a great race. I think we're going to have a bit of a cracker of a series on our hands here. Anthony, what do you think?
Yeah, the schedule seems to be covering most of the spectrum of tracks that iRacing offers. So it's going to be quite interesting.
Well, we're off to Homestead Miami Speedway next weekend. Certainly a much different circuit from what we've just raced at tonight. Fast, wide. How's the grip level there?
It's pretty typical 1.5 mile track. It's draft probably will come into play. The corners are a little bit slower there, so it probably won't be as bad as Texas, but there'll still be some drafting. It's certainly a different type of oval track to the atypical 1.5 miles.
Do you think we'll get any too wide racing out of it?
Yeah, we'll see. It's the bankings are different across the track, but the iRacing track tends to be one line. But we'll see. We'll see by next week.
Sounds like it's going to be a great race and a good season overall. Bit of a shame Tim Jackson wasn't able to connect and get into the race. He would have certainly livened things up because I think he would have been able to hang on to those top five. Certainly sat in behind Josh Muggleton and given him something to think about.
Yeah, it's unfortunate that he didn't make the grid, but I guess that's just one of those things that happens, and pretty atrocious luck for him, really.
Yeah, bit of a shame. And just a reminder to our viewers, look forward to have a good look forward to the prototype GT races, which will be brought to you live by v8sonline commentary crew, and that should be a great race to watch. I know I'll be tuning in, that's for sure. Is it Suzuka this week? I think it is actually.
Yes, it's Suzuka, so very, very challenging track, and multi-class racing isn't really suited to that track, so it's going to be interesting.
Should be a lot of fun. I'll tell you what, Anthony, just as a side note too, I had some viewers ask me last week, they said you might have actually had a mouthful of food on occasion while you were commentating, and it was interesting to note there. I know that within in the commentary booth at the moment, there seems to be a prolific amount of rolls and buns and so forth left over after the departure of Jay Kennedy. So that's the answer I gave them, and seems now that he's gone, there's some left over. I don't know, was that the case or not?
Yeah, I was having a few bites to eat during the race.
Pasties? Well, I got to say, I didn't know that it actually was something that the commentary team had, but they assured me that it was. But yeah, it used to disappear pretty quick. But anyway, fantastic race for the night. I've certainly enjoyed it. Thank you for being our expert commentator for the evening, and congratulations to our winner, Corey Vincent, and Jason Martin for second place, with Francis Dunnett on third. It's been Mike Korolev and Anthony Kernich in the V8's online broadcast booth. Thank you for all listening in. Hope you enjoyed it, and we look forward to seeing you all next week.